Hello and welcome to the EduTalk series hosted by Biotone, Biotone EduPartner School Program, and massage industry experts. With the growing interest and popularity of the EduTalk series, Biotone continues to support virtual learning and building massage community by connecting you with industry experts who share their knowledge and expertise on topics not only for class discussion, but career success. Today's expert is Adrienne Asta, who is a past EduTalk presenter for both the Massage EduTalks and the Diabetes EduTalk series. Adrienne began her massage career in 2001, and she's an NCBTMB-approved educator, contributor to industry textbooks, and is certified in neuromuscular therapy and prenatal massage. She's co-owner of Center for Self-Care in Tucson, Arizona, and as president of the Massage Therapy Foundation, she's chair of Community Service Grants Review Committee and serves on the Development and Marketing Committee. Let's listen and learn as Adrienne discusses unlocking relief, the power of massage therapy research in managing headaches. Headaches and migraines impact lives daily, from limiting productivity to hindering life's enjoyment. Adrienne shares compelling research supporting massage therapy's efficacy in reducing pain intensity and frequency via evidence-based studies. She'll uncover the transformative potential of targeted massage techniques for alleviating migraine burden and restoring quality of life. We have a lot to get to. Adrienne, welcome. I am glad to have you here once again, and please check out Adrienne's previous EduTalks in the EduTalk library on biotone.com. I will see you on the other side of your presentation to answer chats and comments. Thanks so much. There you go.
Thank you so much, Danelle. It's such a great privilege to be here working with Biotone and the EduTalk series. I want to give a really warm and big thank you to Biotone, because Biotone has sponsored the Massage Therapy Foundation for so many years now as a donor to our community service grants. They sponsor 2 grants a year and have for a long time. Thank you so much. And we look forward to presenting you with some really great, we're in the middle of our community service reviews right now. And we're looking forward to presenting you with another great list of community service projects that we're doing. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the presentation. And today we're going to be talking about the research about managing headaches for massage. And the good thing is massage therapy is really a great intervention for reducing headaches. And we're going to see some of that here. Okay, so a headache, for anyone who has had the privilege of listening to any of Ruth Werner's podcasts or have taken her continuing education, Ruth Werner is a past president of the Massage Therapy Foundation and speaks really eloquently about this condition. So she says headaches are kind of this really common human experience. And about 90% of our population is going to experience a headache at some point in their lives. I am pretty interested in the 10% that won't personally. There are a spectrum of types of headaches, but really the most common one is a muscular tension or tension type headache. Here's where massage therapy really shines, and I'm looking forward to talking about that with you. Um, there is a headache, an international headache society too, and that's pretty neat that one exists. But as much as it is um, a pain in the head, we can say, as much as it's a pain in the head, it really does bind us together because it's really a common experience. So like I said, muscular tension is the most common, and a lot of times we classify a migraine or we hear our clients say that they have a migraine, and they're saying that they have a really bad headache. And when they talk to you about having I've had this migraine for days. There is a specific marker for a migraine that is not present in muscular tension. So when we look at muscular tension headaches, we're looking at um, something that is in dysfunction biomechanically. Okay, so it's with our actual structure of our body. Most likely, it's muscular, fascial. There is argument for subluxation as well, which is a little bit out of our scope, but we can really make a strong relationship with our chiropractic allies. Whereas migraines tend to have a chemical origin. And what we mean by that is sensitivity. It could be sensitivity to a certain chemical smells. There is evidence of hormonal shifts being the thing that marks our migraine onset. Certain cheeses and wine, and I'm really thrilled that that is not my story. But some of these things are really sensitive. Some women who are perimenopausal, a migraine could evolve if they never had them before because of their drop in hormone levels. So one thing to consider about a migraine is that almost always, and I'm going to say maybe 100% of the time, it's on one side. So that's one of the big factors differentiating that. There used to be a little bit more of a distance between a muscular tension headache and a migraine. We used to think that migraines were not as close of a cousin as a muscular tension headache, but we do realize now through the research and through the resources we're going to show you a little bit later in this presentation, that really part of the similarities between a muscular tension headache and a migraine is that the trigeminal nerve is irritated in some way. With a muscular tension headache, that irritation comes from a biomechanical origin. With a migraine, it comes from a chemical origin. So with a migraine, there's usually severe throbbing or pulsing on one side of the head. Often we have nausea and vomiting accompanied by that. Definitely extreme sensitivity to light and sound. Somebody who's suffering a migraine probably wants to be steady and warm and in a dark room with no input, because that sensitivity of that trigeminal nerve is really high, and nociception is really high for somebody suffering with a migraine. And migraines can last from hours to days. It is most important to know that this pain from a migraine interferes with daily activity. So a muscular tension headache are somebody who suffers from muscular tension headache. They crave massage. They think of the idea of somebody pressing on their upper shoulders and their neck, and the idea of that gives them relief. Someone who's suffering a migraine, typically they don't want any input, right? They don't want anybody to touch them. They are probably self-selecting to not keep that massage appointment that they might have with you. Another I'm gonna call it a more common type of headache, but it's actually really rare. It's just the one that's documented the most of these three, is a cluster headache. So cluster headaches are very rare. They affect men more than women. Unsure of why that particular issue is, but these are kind of similar to a migraine, where that client is not going to be coming in and talking and seeking massage, especially in that moment. When we look at how we can help, I'm just going to go back one slide. When we look at the list of types of headaches, and if you look at if you were to go on Google and just Google muscular tension headaches or headaches, I am going to, just for the sake of this webinar, include some of those other muscular tension pieces, such as TMJ and eye strain. Sometimes they are listed individually. I'm putting them all in the muscular tension category because massage therapy and the techniques that we typically use in the treatment room can help with this. So let's look at the muscles that can refer pain into the head. Okay, with trapezius being the most common of the muscle tension. We use the techniques that we use for the trapezius muscle, are we've learned them since day one in massage school, right? When we're looking at the attachments, how they attach to the head. So the trapezius muscle refers pain up the side of the neck, around the head, and even into the jaw. We see it up the sides and the tops of the shoulders, kind of along the spine of the scapula, up into the attachment here on the superior nuchal line. And because that upper trapezius shortens that muscle, we see how stress and tension can really just cause that muscle to be turned on all of the time. When we look at the sternocleidomastoid muscle, SCM, SCM refers pain into the head in a muscular, in a migraine type arc. Okay, so we'll see that pain coming up, maybe sometimes into the ear, maybe over the eyebrow and into the cheek here. When a client comes to you and you ask, and they say you have a headache, it's really important to ask them, well, where on your head is that feeling? The suboccipital muscles, which is a really, really deep set on the back of the skull, they refer pain kind of in a band across the sides of the head that way. And the suboccipital muscles, they are related to movements of the eye as well. So we have some eye strain that could come with that. When we're looking at postural deviations, when we have we've been having a lot more screen time now post-pandemic, or if someone needs to get their prescription looked at for their eyes, you'll see them squint this way, right? So that shortens that area on the back of the neck there. Semispinalis, capitis, and cervicis, with those attachments to, as the words indicate, to the head and to the neck. Splenius capitis, those bandage-like muscles that splenius capitis, again attaching to the mastoid process, cervicis attaching to the transverse process of the cervical spine. Frontalis refers pain into the eye, right? So right into where that sinus point is, right in the brow and the orbit of the eye. So someone might think that they have a sinus headache. So that's kind of a differentiating factor, a differentiating symptom that they might come to you with. It's important to know, probably make a note here. It's important to know that if someone is coming to you with symptoms that aren't musculoskeletal, that you really develop a relationship with a good referral partner, because there are times when our work will be ineffective, or it could even be detrimental. So let's make sure that we're asking questions on our intake and during our treatment to make sure that we're not dealing with something that might be infectious, or something that we might consider a contraindication for us. The occipitalis muscles are the most superficial ones at the base of the skull. Often frontalis and occipitalis are worked together. They connect by that galea aponeurotica on top of the head. So the occipitalis anchors that galea aponeurotica in order for our eyebrows to do what they need to do. So it's not uncommon to see frontalis and occipitalis together, having some kind of dysfunction in it, biomechanical dysfunction. The occipitalis will keep the pain kind of in the base of the skull there, very much where the trapezius refers into. Zygomaticus major is a muscle of facial expression that brings the corner of your mouth towards your ear. So our super happy people, or people who grind their teeth at night, zygomaticus major is definitely going to be stressed. Our four temporomandibular joint muscles, masseter in particular, temporalis in particular. Then there's medial and lateral pterygoids that control the TMJ. Again, bruxism, that kind of grinding your teeth at night. The masseter muscle, because of the muscle fibers that make it up, tends to, once we get into a pattern, or once one gets into a pattern of clenching their jaw, it tends to just be cyclical until we can give an intervention. And most of the TMJ muscles we can access from the outside, but there certainly are techniques that we could do in the mouth. One of the things to be aware of with the TMJ treatment inside the mouth is to make sure that your jurisdiction allows you to do that work. With specialized training, I don't see it as a problem, but it might be something that you want to check out. So I wanted to just take a moment and talk about the awesomeness of the suboccipital muscles. So we have four on each side: rectus capitis posterior, major and minor, and obliquus capitis superior and inferior. So these are the deepest muscles on the back of the skull. And we want to make sure when we are working these muscles, that every other muscle that is superior to it, or superficial to it, I should say, gets worked first. It's very easy for us to treat this area too quickly, which can exacerbate or induce a headache, which is kind of the opposite effect of what we wanted. The rectus capitis posterior minor has a fascial connection, a direct fascial connection to the dura mater surrounding the brain. So imagine if we have some tightness or shortness in that muscle, that it's pulling on the fascial components that make up that muscle, which then pulls on the dura. So having an opportunity to very mindfully, slowly engage the suboccipital muscles, we're looking at a really strong treatment for someone who has headaches, especially the ones that kind of come across the head and makes your head feel like this balloon. So when we look at the research for headaches, these that are listed here are some of the most recent. So the first research the first research listed here is myofascial release has been shown to decrease the frequency and intensity. I'm really excited about this because there hasn't really been huge research efforts going into massage for headaches. I'm not sure why prior to the ones that are listed here, because we know as massage therapists that for the tension type headaches, massage therapy is a really great intervention. And I would imagine that all of you on this call have seen the almost immediate relief for somebody who has headaches, comes to your treatment room, you work with them on all of the muscles we talked about, and they get up off the table and their headache is either gone or significantly reduced. This is not true if somebody has a migraine. Okay, so if somebody is coming to you and they have migraine symptoms and you do the work and their pain doesn't go away, there might be a little bit more of that chemical induction component to their headache versus that biomechanical like we show here. The second is stress reduction. Is considered a really good intervention for massage therapy. So stress reduction for headaches, stress reduction and pain are definitely cousins. So when we look at stress, just when we think about the posture component of stress, we think about this kind of tense and determined. Our body is looking to cover and protect all of those vulnerable areas because we're in pain. When we are under duress, those pain signals travel a little bit faster. So we want to consider the postural changes that go with stress, but perhaps there's even something to consider as far as instead of using just these, like, here's this muscle, here's that muscle, this muscle refers pain this way, this muscle refers pain this way. There could be an argument over using a generalized massage. We used to call it full body Swedish massage back in our day, and I think we're looking at kind of different nomenclature for that. But that full body Swedish massage to just take that stress away turns that dial down on the pain, and the client also feels supported in that moment. So there's an argument for stress reduction techniques. I don't think the two need to be separate. It's not, I'm either going to do a myofascial treatment or I'm going to do a full body treatment. I think or a Swedish massage stroke treatment, right? So the beauty in what we do is that we get to cherry pick a couple of things based on the symptoms that the client is presenting to us. So reducing the stress along with the pain versus having the client on the table and having them just kind of lay there and take some pressure. I think there's an argument for incorporating both into a session. And other studies have shown that foot reflexology can be used to reduce migraine intensity, frequency, and duration. So these three words, intensity, frequency, and duration, are pieces of the conversation we should have, and often headaches are measured by that. The reflexology component can do two things. One, we can look at the stress reduction component for this. The stress reduction component is really a piece of the equation that shouldn't be ignored. Reflexology can help address that. There's also a energetic component to that. So from an energy mindset, and while reflexology and traditional Chinese medicine aren't quite the same, they have a similar philosophy where there's points on the foot that can equate to points on the rest of the body. So use of reflexology, especially if somebody doesn't want their head touched, can contribute to some of that stress reduction piece that we spoke about earlier. When we're looking at when do I not massage someone? Anything that's sudden onset, and sudden onset in a severe way. Okay, so like all of a sudden it just comes on. There's no indication of, oh, hey, I did this earlier, or oh, hey, I ate this thing that could have triggered it, or perhaps I had an extra glass of wine or beer, and now there's a dehydration component that is part of that. It's just like all of a sudden with no indication of how it got there. That there are also systemic symptoms, especially if that headache is accompanied by a fever. The fever is really an indicator that something else is going on, and that person should really seek some medical attention almost right away. Neurological symptoms, so if there's drooping on the side of the face, or a numbness, or they start drooling, or their eye starts tearing. While some of these can be indicated by muscular involvement, often they're not. It could be a sign of a stroke or an aneurysm, or something more severe. Again, this is a medical attention symptom. And if they've had prior history of true migraines or sudden onset headaches and things like that, if they report that to you, I would recommend that they seek medical attention first and rule out anything severe. When you're looking at, like, where do I find the research articles that are publishing some work on massage and headaches, or massage and fill in the blank? These are really for these listed here are really high quality peer-reviewed journals. The International Journal of Therapeutic Massage and Bodywork, that's our journal. That is the journal of our industry. It is funded by the Massage Therapy Foundation with support from the Registered Massage Therapists of British Columbia. It is peer-reviewed. It is open access, so that means you have access to the whole article for free, versus just the abstract, where you then have to go through a paywall to get the full article. It is also free for our authors to publish in it, and this is a characteristic that is becoming more popular as we want to have access to information share. It's online, and it is PubMed indexed and peer reviewed. So be really grateful and really confident in the articles that we print in, or that we write in the International Journal of Therapeutic Massage and Bodywork. And it's because of support from our donors that we get to keep this a free resource. So please consider, if you haven't already, to sign up to receive the journal and donate to the foundation so that we can help keep this free. NIH is the National Institutes of Health is a really great research resource too. That's where PubMed Central is. So IJTMB is PubMed indexed. So this is where we go. Google Scholar has been recommended to me by my research colleagues, where we can start our journey with the articles that are out there. Just Google Scholar and type in what you need to know. The pieces that we type in now are, we can use common language nowadays, versus when we were first using internet resources for looking up research articles. We used to have to type in pretty specific, and things needed to be in parentheses, but just go ahead and search like you would any other search. And the algorithm will pick up what we need to know. And it has the filtering systems like any other. And then ResearchGate is also a great resource, very similar to Google Scholar. So check all of these out, particularly IJTMB. And for other resources that are available to you for free on the massagetherapyfoundation.org website, we have community service resources. You have applications for community service and research grants. We have free webinars where you can earn a CE credit or a CE hour. There are plenty of resources for students and faculty if you're associated with a school. If you want to contribute to the body of research, using our case report hub is a really great spot to look. We talked about IJTMB, sign up, it's free. They don't bother you but 4 times a year just to tell you that the quarterly journal has been published. MassageNet is I'm going to speak to MassageNet on its own in a minute. We have infographics that you can use to help communicate with other allied professions. You have infographics that you can use for your clients. I have a few of these in my studio, and I hand them out to clients. Ebooks, research papers, research tools. Our Research Perch podcast is a wonderful resource to listen to on how we translate massage therapy research into the treatment room. MassageNet is a practice-based research network. So this is a really great opportunity for us as massage therapists who do the work in our setting to be able to share with others, particularly researchers who are looking to research the effects of massage therapy. MassageNet is been the place where we can go, that a researcher can come to us and say, hey, I want to study massage therapy's benefits for, and again, fill in the blank, massage therapy, and let's say MS. So a researcher would look at who is signed up in MassageNet for a particular zip code area. And then we would do the work in our clinic with no other deviation. So it's real work from licensed massage therapists in our setting in order to collect some data. And there's going to be a lot of interesting opportunities through MassageNet for us to share what's happening in the treatment room, and especially share those ideas with our allied health professionals. And you can get more information on all of this at massagetherapyfoundation.org. One more time, I'd like to give a big thank you to Biotone. For decades, you've been supporting the Massage Therapy Foundation and our community service grants in particular. Please know that as chairperson of that committee, that my heart explodes when you in a good way, not in a bad way. My heart is just bursts open when we get that sponsorship from you. So thank you very much, Biotone. For decades, you've been able to support the Massage Therapy Foundation. We honor you and your continued support of us to be able to bring you stuff like this as well. Thanks, Danelle.
Well, thank you. Let's close out your PowerPoint. And everyone, there is time to submit chat questions and comments. So we'll be looking for those. Meryl is asking good ways to learn points on the feet that may connect to headache pain.
Sure. So I am not a reflexologist. I have had some basic, kind of foundational training in my foundational work. Okay, and that was quite a long time ago. So when we look at a map of the feet, a reflexology map, The head is particularly associated with the big toe. So using just compression on the pad of the big toe tends to be the place that I would go to for head pain. Neck is down the big toe, like down the neck. So this would be the head, and this would be the neck on the big toe. I would seek the advice of somebody who does have a reflexology certification because they might have other points as well. My hunch is anything that's going to reduce stress, kind of the adrenal points, and things like that, would be able um, to be effective as well.
Thank you. And
Mhm.
Akai is asking, how can we be more informative to businesses and companies about the hindrances of headaches while working?
The hindrances. So is the question, you'd like to market yourself to maybe a company that has people sitting at a workstation all day? Yes. Okay, I'm seeing yes. Okay, so I'll let you know what I have done successfully in the past. Really is about an education piece. So in order to get into a business, that's tough piece number one. So knowing somebody that you can kind of get your foot in the door, maybe do a lunch and learn. If you can make a contact with someone who says, and you can say, hey, I have this benefit. If they have an HR department or a health and safety department, where you can tell them, I have a very cost-effective intervention that can help reduce some tension and some pain for your workers. Perhaps you want to speak to the piece where they might call out of work less if they have this we call it a soft benefit, right? If you provide them this soft benefit, we can I can help you reduce your absenteeism and increase productivity. Um, Nobody, from my experience doing similar work, nobody's absent on massage day, right? If they know that the massage therapist is coming the first Friday of every month to do chair massage, or I've even been to a couple of companies that have space that I could bring my table so they can lay down and I could do some neck work that way. Um, I worked for a real estate attorney at one point, and he had me there every Friday actually, and he had said Friday used to be the day that everybody called out. He's like, now everybody is there. It went from my least productive day to my most productive day for a very low cost. So speaking to the efficacy of it, and then the education piece is, here's why somebody at a workstation can have frequent headaches and why they might call out, right? So again, it's the closed posture, it's the forward head and the shortening of the neck that lead to all this pain in the head, and it distracts them from being productive. So it's something to consider about how you can be an asset to their particular business versus just, hey, massage, your clients will, your employees will enjoy this massage.
All right. Well, Meryl is asking a chat question with a word I'm not sure how to pronounce.
Okay,
All right.
let me see.
Any thoughts on mild trigeminal nerve sensations?
Myotrigeminal nerve sensations. I'm just trying to take a look at it. So trigeminal nerve or trigeminal neuralgia can manifest and in different ways. It's something that um this is where we want to talk about symptoms, right? So trigeminal neuralgia can be as simple as jaw pain, or, what if somebody had a hat for a while and wore a hat for a while that was a little too tight, or they're wearing glasses where the arm of the glasses is right against their temporalis muscle this way. Um, we can do some work where we're very simply putting some pressure and have the client open their jaw, and we have kind of this eccentric contraction of the masseter muscle and even into the temporalis that that they can actively be a part of. It's kind of a myofascial technique if you do that, versus kind of the sweeping effleurage, which may also work, right? So I'm not quite sure if I answered the question that was being asked the right way, but again, trigeminal neuralgia can happen because of a couple different reasons. If they have a misaligned jaw, that I don't know if there's much that we could do about that. Or if there's some kind of chemical sensitivity, like we had mentioned before. Not quite sure if that's answering your question. Feel free to drop me a note at president@massagetherapyfoundation.org, so I can get a better answer for you if I didn't.
Okay. Helpful, thank you. Maybe connected to tooth extraction.
Okay. Yeah. So we're taking a bone out of a bone, right? So we're definitely going to get some irritation there for sure.
Now, earlier in the presentation, when you listed out MTJ,
EMJ.
I felt like you, what should I say, that uh, do massage therapists have scope of practice, or was there some obstacle there that I don't understand, but you were cautioning the audience about?
The obstacle is the work inside the mouth. We could do all of this work on masseter outside, temporalis outside, even the medial pterygoid attachments on the outside. And this could be kind of, just from my experience, there was a time back in the day. I got my training and grew my practice in New Jersey, and there was a moment in the beginning of my career where we weren't allowed to. The licensing board, I think it was actually a caution from the dentist, the licensing entity who licensed dentists in the area were concerned about the ability for massage therapists to do that safely. So there was legislation where a massage therapist could not work inside the mouth. That's old in New Jersey. It might be old everywhere else, and I don't want anybody to step into a situation when where they might not know that law. I'm hoping it doesn't exist. We know plenty about, if you have the right training and are confident with the attachments of medial and lateral pterygoid, even masseter inside the mouth. I think we have the scope of practice with the right training. But it's just a caution with legislation. It's not that we don't know, it's that there might be somebody else who doesn't know, and that's an opportunity for us to give them some education.
Okay, and they could check with the state boards to see what the laws
Correct.
are.
Yes.
And I'd like to mention that on our schedule this year in December, we'll have Scott Raymond presenting on TMJ.
Perfect. I think
Not
Scott
that
would know.
that's, what's that?
I think Scott would know. Yeah, Scott's great.
Okay,
Mhm.
so not that TMJ is the exact topic, but you'll learn more about that as we get closer to December. Well, thank you so much. I haven't seen any other questions or comments arrive. Adrienne, anything you'd like to say in closing?
Just, thank you, Jean Shea, and thank you, Ceci, thank you, Danelle, thank you, Biotone, thank you, everybody who's here. Great to see everybody on this EduTalk series, and please know that the Massage Therapy Foundation is here for you as a resource, and happy to answer any questions if we can.
Well, that's fabulous, and thank you. Um, Okay, Akai is saying, I heard they may consider it a level of intrusion, which may be the TMJ. That was back in 2015, but
Yeah.
I heard it could be wrong. Thanks for the info.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, we'll learn more.
Mhm.
Um, I would like to say, please watch your inbox tomorrow for a follow-up of Adrienne's presentation tonight, the recording link, a copy of her PowerPoint handout, and her contact information. If you don't see it in your inbox by mid-afternoon, please check your spam folder. Additionally, we have some great talks lined up for the rest of June. We have the EduTalk Diabetes Series next week, June 11th, presented by Michaela Dollinger, Daily Habits to Aid Remission of Type 2 Diabetes. And also Adrienne had presented an EduTalk for the Diabetes Series, so please check the archive library. June 18th, we will have Michael Morgan presenting on craniosacral therapy and applications for Alzheimer's and dementia. So 2 great talks coming up. Please join us, watch your inbox for invitations. And if I haven't said it enough, visit the archived libraries. Both can be found on biotone.com, both being the Massage EduTalks and EduTalk Diabetes Series can be found on biotone.com under the EduTalk tab. And thank you for all you do. Thank you to the Massage Therapy Foundation, who has sponsored many talks over the past several years, again, found in the EduTalk library. And thank you for all you do as massage professionals. Join us again. Adrienne, thank you.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you again sometime soon
You
on
bet.
EduTalk. Take care. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Be well. Bye-bye for now.